Welcome to a full review of the Mercedes-AMG E53. Today, here as the Convertible, recent E-Class family upgrade, a facelift for sedan, estate, convertible and the coupe. Today we have here the Convertible, the Cabriolet as E53 for you. A very interesting vehicle, and also in a brilliant blue Magno, the matte paint here of my favorite color. So please enjoy it together with us in Full HD, full screen and full length. Let's go. In the front here with the facelift changes, all E-Class front designs have been renewed, and coupe and convertible always had a little sportier look. Here the 53 models, they have already the vertical fins like in the past only the 63 models used to, and also just a little stronger look here at the side. Yeah, I mean, this one almost looks like a 63, so it's not too much difference then. The headlamps here, a little bit slimmer now, and come with all E-Class versions now standard LED. This here already the multi-beam LED for an extended high beam function. And again, this brilliant blue color is available as a metallic color, but also then here in this Magno matte paint. Yeah, a very distinctive choice, definitely. 4 meters 83, 15'8" or 190 inches is the length of the E-Class coupe or convertible. Slightly shorter than the sedan or the estate. And I mean, what a simple but beautiful design here. Very round shape around the doors. It really comes great to light, especially in this matte paint. And then you see, even when the roof is closed here, almost a coupe silhouette is being kept, and with strong shoulder elements here. That's typical for coupe and convertible, and everything we tell you today is basically counting both for coupe and convertible. Optional 20-inch wheels right here, also with new aerodynamic designs since this facelift. And very cool is that you can also open or close the convertible top here with the key, so we can show you how that looks like. And yeah, it's always a very cool process, and it works up to a speed of 50 kilometers an hour or about 30 miles an hour, so you can easily do that also while driving. That's a very practical thing to do, definitely. And there you can see once again the design also here. Now this design comes more to light, and I would definitely install a classic fixed wind deflector. That's still available. That brings the most thing out of it. But you can also get this air cap system where this front part lifts a little bit up, and you have another small wind deflector in the rear. Better for getting people in and out, definitely. But when you mainly drive it with 2 people, a standard wind deflector would be better. In the rear, the tail lamps have been updated with a more modern look on the inside. An E53 logo right here. And once again, this matte color works very well here with the round design shape also for the rear. In the lower part, a diffuser, and the 53 gets also fake exhaust tips here, round ones, because the real exhaust is behind that then on the inside. That's also a difference to 63 model, where you have these rectangular beauty tips. But again, the 53 model, that's for coupe and convertible, 63 for estate and the sedan. As for the suspension, 53 and 63 models with the AMG, with the E-Class, always get adaptive air suspension than with a stiffer setup. And difference to 53 and 63 is just really, really tiny. The 63 a little bit stiffer, but hardly noticeable. What do we have under the hood here for the 53 models? This is a 3-liter inline-6 turbo petrol engine. You see it does not have this one-man, one-engine concept as a 63 AMG model, but to me that wouldn't be a problem actually. Here 435 horsepower is the power output, and the acceleration figure is 4.4 seconds to 1 kilometers or 62 miles an hour. And That's definitely more than enough. Rear biased all-wheel drive, and I can tell you, you will see it in the driving part, this really gives you enough punch. Here now also with the MHEV technology, so mild hybrid, might also be, some advantages than as for the fuel economy. And of course, the 6-cylinder here will be better in the fuel economy than if you compare it, for example, to an 8-cylinder. The car key, classic design, beautiful and light, why not? Keyless entry, put your hand on the outside or on the inside to close or open. And, well, door closing sound here when the convertible is open. Of course, it's not that good, but that's, no wonder. So, and then inside of the doors, of course, large door, when you have a convertible or a coupe. And here we have carbon fiber insets here for this AMG model. Optional Burmester sound system with a great 3D sound, even works for the convertible. It will sound a little bit better in the estate or in the sedan, but I mean, this is already really, really cool. Huge AMG entry badge for this long door area. And big facelift news is this new steering wheel. You can also get it with microfiber at the sides, which I would recommend. And it has a smaller size, a thicker grip right here, better to handle in steering. However, these are now capacitive buttons here, for example, for cruise control, controlling with your left thumb the left screen, with your right thumb the right screen. There were touch pads before, but everything else is now also touch and capacitive, and I think it looks cooler definitely, here also in this AMG style design, but it's harder to control. And then you also have these lower control areas here for the driving modes. We'll soon also show you how it looks like powered up, and here one more control knobs for driving, not for driving modes, but also for suspension stiffness, exhaust sound, and so on. Yeah, I mean, that's quite okay. The problem, I think, capacitive buttons are not really that user friendly. And you see here also the new setup. Usually it would start with 10.25 inch left and right. An option you can go 12.3 inch left and right. Then you have also this bigger one panel design. Well, in both cases, but then in the smaller screen with bigger bezels, and here with smaller bezels. And big news, MBUX infotainment finally also now with this facelift for the E-Class. Soon more details to that. Seats, sport seats are standard for the 53 model, and usually they will come with Dynamica microfiber on the inside and Artico high-grade leatherette on the outside, so that would be annual free as for the standard seat for most markets at least, and this is also the the choice you should actually go for. This is the optional animal skin seat, which is more coast intensive and also will get hotter in summertime. And getting inside, this is also one of the differences to the C-Class. The C-Class is better parking in and out, definitely, but here the seat form is more comfortable in the E-Class, so especially if you're taller, you will have a little bit more comfort definitely in the C-Class if you compare to a C-Class convertible. Then there's always the thing about pricing. I mean, a C-Class is of course cheaper, so that's one thing why you might want to go then for the smaller model. And we can also close the convertible top once again, because I want to show you how it looks like with the headroom. So closing here from the inside, it's also a nice perspective. And for me, with 1.86 m or 6'1", because I cannot test the headroom when the roof is opened. Here when it's closed, it's actually no problem at all. Also in the convertible, plenty of headroom left, right here. And again, a very comfortable seating position. Steering wheel goes up and down, in and out in an electric way right here. And this is really one of the most comfortable convertibles. So if you ask me which would be one of the most silent and most comfortable convertibles, I think I would go here for the E-Class convertible. To me, even better to be in, if you compare it, for example, to the Bentley Continental, because the Bentley Continental is like too plush on the interior, so that already reduces the comfort, I think. Yeah, that might be a personal thing. So this is really also top-notch comfort-wise. Interior overview, we know that the E-Class Convertible has this overlapping on top and everything is wrapped tightly. Then in the AMG version we also have the carbon fiber decor elements right here. These round turbine vents always look really impressive, and look how the inner part here, this structured surface, is also then mirrored when you move it. So that, yeah, very astonishing. I think it looks really cool. Some say it's overdone. What's your take on that? Then once again you see the dual screen setup, 12.3 inch in this top setup, and since it's the MBUX now, you also have the touch screen, new thick steering wheel. There again, once again, they look for that. Right thumb here, you control the right screen, or then with touch here for volume sliding up and down, or picking up the phone. Natural voice input also works now. Hey Mercedes. Hey Mercedes. Drive me to Berlin. Of course, you need an online connection for that. So sometimes when you have not a good, there, for example, still was found, although it was offline. The online support then is even better, but we are very remote location right here, so this can happen. Then this best natural voice input is always related then also to an online connection. Left thumb you can use then to control these instruments on the left side, and also go back to like home screen here, zoom more details to that. In the lower part, setting the cruise control. The capacitive buttons here, you see there's one button area for the whole area. So you have one feedback for all control functions each. For capacitive feedback it's good, but still the old solution were just more premium as for the touch and easier to use while driving. This special gauge is not a turning gauge, but you pick what you want to do in the upper or lower area, and then you can activate, for example, exhaust mode right here, or driving dynamics, or the suspension settings. So click inside and then adjust it here. This has a better touch and feel to it than one of the early versions we, for example, saw in the A-Class or so in the AMG models. And on the right side then, the turning selector for the driving modes. This is good to have it on the steering wheel, then you don't have to reach down to the lower middle console for that. And speaking about the lower middle console, still a manual climate unit, so easy to control it while driving. I like to have that still. Also a GPS hotkey. Here you can open this cover, and then you have USB-C connection then here for your smartphone. So wire connection for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Cup holders adaptive. Then for Coupe and Convertible you have this rather older pad here, so you can put your hand on there and use it like this for turning inside, or you can also slide with your finger on it. So they said it's like for building reasons, because then behind it they have the buttons here for opening and closing the roof, and also here for all windows, and this is then for the air scarf. And here you can open this split armrest like this, and reasonable space underneath indeed. More details to the infotainment system like this. Let's take a look at the GPS, which has a good visualization. It's nothing new, but still very, very solid. And the voice input of the GPS we showed you already. Here, comfort features, for example, you have an overview of that. You can also have the massage seats, which have a very sophisticated function in here. The ambient lighting is one of the best things the E-Class has. Put it all the way up, and maybe put it all the way also to the brightness. And of course here color, which one do we pick? Ocean blue, which comes close to a Thomas blue color. It also fits to the exterior color, and then you can already see here, for example, around the air vents, for example, and it will be also lower area when it's darker. That's really cool. And Apple CarPlay integration. Oh, I need to unlock that first. Yeah, some German lessons for today, and here we got it unlocked. And then we can also do I have someone on the phone? Hello? Someone on the phone here? Yeah, and then you can also play back this Suburban as a sound system, and once again, really cool sound. In the Convertible, it makes no difference for that. You can really enjoy that. Digital instruments, left side here, so you can control it all with your left thumb, for example, what you want to have in the middle part. Also left and right can be adjusted. You can also have a GPS screen here in the middle, either with a small map like this, or you can also put it all the way over the screen. This is of course really helpful then when navigating, that you don't have to look over to the right, but you can also switch the whole gauges if you like this, styles and display, and then, for example, also can pick these special super sports gauges, or here the understate version, but that doesn't really, fit to the whole car here. But you see, what I actually want to jump to super sport, but with these capacitive buttons, navigation buttons, it sometimes happens that you overjump something what you want to see. This would be, like this super sports gauge with, more RPM, focus, and so on. So you can adjust a lot in here, but controlling it while driving has become really complicated. Head-up display is always a nice option to see the current speed, also loud speed, or also some GPS hints, especially when you have some IKEA packages in the background behind the head-up display waiting for you on these wooden frames. Now it's time for comments. Thomas in the rear seat with a time code indication. Here the front seat is sliding forward automatically when you pull this, so it's a fairly easy entry to the rear. And of course here in the E-Class convertible you have a little bit more room than in a C-Class convertible. C-Class would be mid-size segment, and this one here, E-Class, we call upper mid-size segment. That's like a direct German translation. Yeah, that's a German thing. Now I get inside, and yeah, that's quite okay. And like this here, it's okay. So headroom wise, I mean, there's really better here with the convertible than with the coupe because it's soft here, but I shouldn't put my spine up, just all the way up, and then I can actually sit here. Once again, you see the mounts here of the classic wind deflector. It works with tall adults, at least headroom wise, when you relax yourself a little bit. Here now the seat slides backwards, and would it work to my position when I'm directly works with my legs when I'm driving in the front, and this would not work in the C-Class convertible. So that's one of the advantages then with the E-Class convertible. Once again, when it's not a problem with the exterior dimensions. By the way, here I see the vents from the back part, and you see here the outgoing on the front part. This is here part of the of the air scarf system, so hot air can be blown into your neck. I know people that really love that. To me personally, when it's really cold, I wear a jacket in the convertible anyway, and then my neck is covered. And when it's really hot, I don't need the air scarf. So to me, it's not really necessary. But I also know people that really love that option. I wonder why there's always such a fight between boot and trunk. Always getting comments when I say trunk. Like, how can you say trunk? Yeah, so let's vote. Is it boot or is it trunk? Let's vote in the comments. So let's take a look at the boot or the trunk. Here we go. And this, of course, convertible style, not too much. However, a backpack fits also upright in here in the back. This would still work, no problem. This is also, when the roof is down, and that way, this would work when the roof is up. So that's the maximum space you have available then. And you can also fold the seats left and right like this, and I have to go around and fold them, or you just reach through with your luggage and push them, so that's both possible. But it's a little bit tricky, so in this case it's better. Yeah, that's with the seat. Yeah, there we go. Hey guys, so you can also load through longer things, that's possible. Again, it always depends on if you're using the roof or not. And there's a button right here. So this is the one for this split, and when you push it, it helps you with putting that up or in. So yeah, I think the solution is okay. Just have to remember, this is the height limit then when the roof is down. Welcome to Thomas's Active Driving Lounge. With the Mercedes-AMG E53 convertible. So yeah, you hardly mistake it. After hearing that sound here in the tunnel, you could think that's a 63, but it is not. It's a 53, and the difference is 2 cylinders. So we have here the inline 6-cylinder, whereas the 63 would have the V8, but that's not available for the convertible and the coupe. It's reserved for the sedan and the estate. Yeah, and I think that's actually totally fine. So often you think, like the V8 has better sound and so on. Yeah, it is definitely different, but I mean, Were we lacking a V8 sound there? I guess not. And power, yeah, I mean, a second slower is the acceleration figure to 1 kilometers or 62 miles an hour if you compare it then to the 63 model, but I mean, still plenty of power left here with the 435 horsepower in this engine. And here the steering is very direct and precise. You do, need to work it a little bit, but it feels very natural then. Not the most progressive, but that's totally fine. So overall, I like the steering setup. And the new steering wheel here with the facelift has a very, compact size, really small, good and thick grip. So that's really cool. And then I'll show you some acceleration right here. Whoa, that was already 0 to 80. Wow, pretty cool, and wow, definitely not lacking any performance here from this 6-cylinder. And once again, good sound, and you also hear that here in the convertible. Wow, pretty cool. So nice and sporty atmosphere here. And also as for the suspension setup, adaptive air suspension. It is hardware basically the same as in the 63 model as well, and just like a tiny notch that the suspension in the 63 is a little bit stiffer and directer, but just a minor difference. And yeah, this really feels so cool, so agile, this handling. And what they have also done is when you go to the comfort mode, you really have more comfort than before. So far, the suspension in the 63 model was really super stiff and you lacked comfort. Here now in the comfort mode, it's way better than before. Yet at the same time, in the Sport or Sport Plus mode, it is even sportier than before. So very good setup and definitely more comfort without losing sportiness. Here when you drive a little bit faster now, 100 kilometers an hour, 60 miles an hour, there could be like the classic wind deflector. I would recommend that. But for easier getting people in and out, you can also use this air cap system here. Then like a small wind deflector is going up in the rear, and there's also this additional lip going up in the front. So it indeed reduces the wind noise, especially like the low frequent wind noise. And then you hear rather a high frequent wind noise from the top, but it's better bearable in the interior. Let me just go back again, now that you can see the bit difference, or maybe hear the difference. Not sure if you see it maybe with my hair. I mean, there's more wind turbulence in here now, and when you put it up back again, there we go. So it's a little bit less wind turbulence than here in the interior. But to me, I would always go for a standard big wind deflector that always has a better effect, definitely. And we saw there are still some mounts as for that. Here once again at about 100 kilometers an hour, very stable again. So masters sportiness and comfort at the same time very well. And to me the 53 is also a better compromise. You pay less money than for the 63. The 6-cylinder here had a great sound, also great performance. It's also a little bit lighter on the front axle, which I also prefer as for driving. So even if it wouldn't be about the price, I would still prefer the 53 model. It just feels lighter, not only if you compare like convertible and sedan, also if you compare 53, 63, inside the very same body segment. So once again, Sport Plus mode, and we can accelerate it out, for example, here from 50 kilometers. And 100. Wow, really cool, and it's such a pleasure. I'm really like a convertible lover, and this is really a pleasure. The E-Class convertible is also basically an all-season convertible, but again, even more so with the standard wind deflector. That would be even better, than it would be, even less wind turbulences here on the interior. But 100 kilometers or 60 miles an hour is still a bearable speed here also when driving with the open top, definitely. And also while driving, we can open or close the convertible roof, so up to a speed of 50 kilometers an hour. So when I'm, for example, going on the motorway, well, now the traffic light turned to red, but even if it wouldn't have turned to red, I can still open and close that convertible top. Oh, someone was overtaking while the traffic light was red. Well done. So, why would you do that? And now we get on the motorway. Here we go. Once again, we put it to Sports Plus mode now with the closed top, and wow, immediately it's super silent, and these, multiple layers in this soft top are really very well insulated, so you don't have such a difference to the closed versions. And now let's accelerate it out. 130 that was. And all the way 170 kilometers an hour. Wow. So great acceleration once again from the 6-cylinder. Here, of course, you do feel an acceleration difference, especially in the higher speed regions, to the 8-cylinder. That the 8-cylinder just has even more punch. But I mean, you already have so much fun here with the 6-cylinder, definitely. And this is a convertible, and we're driving here at about 140 kilometers an hour now, and it's super silent in here. So, I mean, just at really, really high speeds. Then the Coupe, for example, would have an advantage as for wind turbulence and so on. But probably this is the most silent convertible on the market overall as for the wind turbulence, especially when it's here the closed top. And this feels so effortless now at about 180 kilometers an hour. And it would once again, we are driving a convertible with closed top now. No one would expect that. So this convertible here at almost 200 kilometers or 125 miles an hour is more silent than most all other cars on the market. This is really astonishing, and also suspension-wise, so stable on the road, so effortless. Yeah, that's really very cool. If you compare a C-Class convertible, by the way, the C-Class convertible is a little bit more agile because it's smaller, has less weight and so on. But the E-Class offers you a little bit more comfort, a little bit more room. So it depends on, when you have problem with parking space and so on, that might be speaking for the C-Class then. When you live in California and parking spots are not an issue, then you might as well can go for the E-Class if price doesn't play a role. The C-Class is of course definitely cheaper. And here, even at higher speed regions, you still have power reserves, and I'm really astonished again how stable and effortless this car is driving. Wow, really cool. And the new suspension setup here with the upgraded hardware once again does a great job in giving you even more comfort, although you're driving a top sporty version here of a vehicle. Yeah, this is really something to enjoy all the time, both, open top and closed top. And I can just stress again that with a closed top, you basically have a coupe. So super silent. Yeah, that's really astonishing. Once again, very stable here in the corner. And when you're driving normal speeds with this car, it really also, once again, feels like standing still. And now to our conclusion for today with the Mercedes E53, today as the convertible. Really cool driving experience. First of all, from the exterior looks, definitely a stronger look than before with the facelift. So, well, the convertible doesn't have too much change as we compare it, for example, to sedan. The E-Class sedan has the most drastic change in design with this facelift. Interior now with the new infotainment system, MBUX, with natural voice input and different screen sizes. And you definitely profit from that, just have a better infotainment system, and again the voice input and so on, and touchscreen. The new steering wheels, it is great from the looks and also from driving. However, controlling the capacitive buttons on the steering wheel, that is more complicated than before. This car here, a real dream car, good built interior build quality. The standard seat will also come animal free and also more sustainable. That's also cool. So checked also for the E53. And this inline 6-cylinder is a very good compromise between comfort and sportiness. It doesn't weigh too much and it has enough of performance. So I think it's not bad at all that you don't get the 63 models for the coupe and the convertible. This is here totally fine, totally enough. Driven the other ones in the 63 in the sedan and the estate. Yes, the V8 has more punch, definitely. But this one already with a great sound and great performance, definitely enough, and also a better price-performance deal. Driving with open top is possible with this vehicle here basically all season long, so that's a lot of fun. And with closed top, you have this nice silhouette, definitely, and you can drive so fast and still feel like a closed coupe, wind and noise insulation-wise, and from the wind noises. So Really astonishing, one of the most silent cars here overall, although it is a convertible. So as it stands here right now, just with the base Dynamica Artico seats, that would also be one of my dream cars, definitely, especially, for example, when you live in California or so. So tune in for other reviews right here on our channel. Would like to see you right there, and leave us some feedback to this vehicle here today. See you next time.